Hi guys, I see that you're online, Zainab, and I see that it's only 3:59 by the clock, so I'm just going to wait one more minute in case anybody else is coming on, and then we'll get going. Thanks. You know what, I forgot to turn on the microphones. Can you hear me now? Oh, that's excellent. Okay, I was just saying I'm hoping that Stephen and Annika and Lexi are coming, but we'll get going here pretty quick by 4:01. Have you got your Cornell note sheets? Okay, good. So we're going to start learning about subtraction of integers, and we've been working before this on addition of integers, but it works a little bit differently. So here's some tips for you to remember, and you might want to take some notes on this stuff, is that to subtract a positive integer, your number will get smaller. So we're going to take a look at those today and see what we mean. All right? So we're going to use our yellow. Were you on last day when we were using the red and yellow? Okay. So if you look on your screen, it'll look a little bit different today. On the left-hand side, there are a bunch of boxes with different things on them. There's an arrow and a star and a. Can you see all of that there? Okay, so if you go down to the sixth one, it looks like a square, but just click on it once and you can see that on the inside, on the bottom, if you click in the bottom right corner, there will be a circle. So click on that circle and the circle will go into your box from where the square was. Do you want to try doing that? Okay, so now at the bottom you'll see that something's come up that says 100% stroke 2 or whatever, and it's got a black dot. What I'd like you to do is click on where it's black and you'll see a screen come up, and I want you to just change that color to red. I just did that on my screen. Are you doing it on yours? Okay, so try drawing on this. Now you've clicked on that. Try going on the screen and you should be able to draw a circle. Try it and see how that works. Look at you, you've got a square. So go back on the square and make it go back to a circle and then change it to red. If you click on the bottom right corner of the second square down, it should, did you see that? Try again. See if you get a circle. You can mess around with that for a couple minutes and see if you can figure out how to make it be a circle. I'm going to clear the page off of everything that we wrote. I'm going to get my circle tool back. Okay, so we're going to model positive 7 minus positive 3. So I'm going to draw my 7 circles. And you'll notice that they're not perfect. So don't worry though. So there's my positive 7. Now I want to take away positive 3. And in this case, I'm just going to get I went up and I used my pencil tool. I click on the pencil, and you'll see I'll get a pencil. And then I just circle my positive 3, and I'm going to draw a line through them. Because they're gone now, I'm maybe going to scribble them out. There we go. Scribble them out. What am I left with? I'm left with 4. You're right. So positive 7 minus positive 3 is positive 4. And that means that our number actually got smaller. So we're subtracting a positive integer. So let's take a look what happens if I'm going to clear the page off because this gets a little bit weird. So you have to just kind of stick with me for a minute. I'm going to take negative 6. I'm going to go to my circle. I'm going to change it to yellow now. And you can do this along with me if you want. Doesn't matter to me. Okay? And I'm going to start drawing some yellow circles. I'm going to draw negative 6 because remember we said that our negatives are always yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I want to take away positive 4, but I don't have any positives. So is there something I can do to get some positives in there without changing that it's negative 6? This is a tricky one. I don't know if you'll get it. I'm going to add in some 0 pairs. So how many am I going to need? if I add 0 pairs in, just stay with me while I draw. I don't want to change out of my one color to the other. So I'm going to go get my red. Now, I'm going to make 0 pairs because we remember that 0 pairs make no difference, right? What have I added here if I add all of this? Have I added anything to the equation now? Or is it still -6? Okay, you're right. It's still the same because all I added was zeros there because we know that a positive and a negative equals 0. Now I can work with this. I'm going to get my pencil. And this will seem weird the first time I do it, but it absolutely works fine. And I'm going to take away those +4 because that's what my equation asked me to do. So I've got rid of them. What am I left with? I'm left with -10, but you're right. So my answer is going to be -10. So you can see that -6 minus +4 is going to be -10. Absolutely true. All right. Did that seem confusing or does it seem like it makes sense to you? Kind of. We'll do a few more things. I'm sure that it's going to make a little more sense after. I'm going to clear that page off, and we're going to move on to the next page. So what happens when you subtract a negative integer? This is where it gets a little bit odd. When you subtract a negative integer, your number will actually become bigger. So we're going to model with yellow and red integer discs again. So what color am I going to use for my negative numbers? Did you figure out how to, yellow, you're right. Did you figure out how to make the yellow work, the circle work? Okay. Okay. I'm going to show you, so I'm going to draw. I'm just going to make sure that I want to make this yellow because we're dealing with negative numbers right now. All right. So I'm going to draw.
Draw right here. Get back there, and that's where it'll kind of be.
I don't know if that's showing over yours or not. Okay. Oh, you can only make a square. Okay, I'll show you tomorrow. So what my question is -6 minus -4. That's what I think it is. I have to actually go back and look. No, -7, sorry. When I do this, the little bar that comes out covers up the first equation. I'll have to remember that next time. So I've got -7 here. So take the pencil, Zainab, and surround 4 of them and get rid of them. Because we want to take away -4. See if you can do that. The pencil's the third thing down. Okay, and draw a line through that. And what are we left with? She's done an excellent job here. We're left with -3. So -7 minus -4 is -3. So you can see when you take away negative from something that's already negative, you actually get more positive, or you're moving towards the positive. All right? So let's try this with +5 minus -3, and that's going to look a little bit different. I'm just going to clear the page off so we can have some room to work. Okay, so I'm going to get to +5, which means I need my red color. All right, I'm going to draw 5 of my circles. Now, can I subtract -3 at this point? Yes or no? Do I have any negative integers on there at all? Integer discs? Well, I don't have any because negative is yellow. I've only got positive. So I have to create something where I'm going to get yellow. How many yellow do I need in order to subtract them? How many yellow do I need? I need 3. All right. So we're going to need 3 0 pairs. So I'm going to do my reds first. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to do my yellows. 1, 2, 3, because we don't want to add anything or subtract anything. We just want to make this to still be +5. So do you agree with me that we still have +5 here? Okay, we still have +5. All right. So Now you're going to take away -3. So do you want to surround those and cross them out for me? I didn't realize my video was on this whole time. That must be nice for you. Okay, so she surrounded those and she drew a line through them. And what are we left with? She's coming along. We are left with +8. So +5 minus -3 is going to give us +8. So our number actually got bigger, and that's a way that it really, really shows that. All right, so I'm going to clear that page off, and we're going to move on to the next one. Next, we have an example doing number lines, so let's take a look again. So we used number lines last time. I'm going to remind you that we did that, and when we use a number line, we always start at 0. So our first thing is to go down to -4. So there we are at -4, and we're going to stop right there. And it's going to, and we're going to have a bit of a crooked line. All right, now what are we going to do to subtract -2? What are we going to do to subtract -2? And I'm using the line tool, which is the one down beneath the 2 squares. So the first one we went from 0 to -4, and now we're going to go back the other way because we're going to take away that negative. And we are going to end up at -2. So -4 minus -2 equals -2 because we actually get closer to 0. You can see that right there. All right, so when we're drawing number lines, that's the way we're going to do it. Is that making sense to you, Zainab? Good, good. All right. Okay, so what if you don't have enough negative numbers? You can always add 0 pairs, all right? So we're going to start with -4 minus -6. So I'm going to draw my -4. Can you take -6 away from this? Can I take -6 away from what's there? No. I need how many more, Zainab? I need, Zainab's writing it out, 2. So you know that we, in order to add 2 more, in order to keep this as -4, we have to actually add 0 pairs, which means I need 2 negatives and 2 positives. All right. Now, we are going to do -4, take away -6. I've got -6 now. I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to surround my -6. I'm going to draw a line through them because they no longer exist. I'm Xing them out of my life. Scribbling away. What's left on the screen? What's left on the screen? 2. You're absolutely right. So -4, take away -6 actually ends up being +2. Excellent. All right. Last one before homework. +5 minus -3. So again, we're going to get our yellow. I'm going to draw our +5. Can I take -3 away from this as it sits? I cannot because I don't have any negatives, so I'm going to have to add 3 0 pairs. So I'm going to put my 3 reds first. 1, 2, I didn't leave myself enough room. 3, and then I'm going to add my 3 yellows with them. And of course, if we were using integer discs, this would go a lot quicker. And of course, we're online, so we can't. All right. So now we have enough to take away our -3. So do you want to do that this time, Zainab? Take away the -3. There she goes. Right. She drew a circle and a line. Hey, you're better at straight lines than you should be teaching this class. What are we left with? We are left with +8. So again, +5 minus -3 means that our number is getting bigger. Excellent job tonight, Zainab. You're my teaching assistant. All right. So for your homework tonight, you're going to do these 3 questions using a number line or drawing integer discs. Right? -3, subtract -4, +5, subtract +3, and -10, subtract -8. And you can do those on the bottom of your Cornell notes. I don't want them on 2 different sheets. So once you've completed your notes today, then you can do the questions after. You're welcome. Thank you. So as soon as you're done, Zainab, you can sign off. I'm going to turn off the video. See you later.